Picture a busy restaurant. A server drops a stack of bowls. Crash. Everyone looks. A customer nearby could help, but he just turns away. Why? Not because he's cruel, but because of an unwritten rule. It's not my job. We're taught to value our time and effort only if we're paid for it. This mindset builds invisible walls between us, dividing helper from bystander. It's the scarcity trap, the belief that there's not enough time, money, or kindness to go around, so we guard what's ours. This isn't just about one restaurant. It's about a society where the cost of kindness is always calculated. The scarcity system is built on one idea. There isn't enough for everyone. It turns life into a competition. Jobs, money, even kindness become things to win or lose. We measure success by wealth, and helping others becomes a transaction. Invisible rules teach us: sell your time, measure your value by your earnings, and only solve problems if you're paid. This mindset narrows our focus to our own survival, making us hesitate to help and disconnecting us from community. The dropped bowl, a missed chance for connection, lost to the logic of scarcity. Scarcity isn't just economic. It rewires our brains. When we worry about not having enough, we get tunnel vision, focusing only on our own needs. Empathy and creativity shrink. Kindness feels like a luxury. The system celebrates individual achievement, teaching us to see others as competitors, not allies. We waste potential by competing instead of cooperating. The result? A society divided, struggling alone, instead of thriving together. We're at a crossroads. One path, keep playing the scarcity game. More stress, more division, more loneliness. The other, embrace abundance. The idea that there's enough if we cooperate and share. This means redefining success, valuing generosity, and building strong communities. It's a radical shift, but it's the challenge of our time. The choice is ours. Stay trapped or break free and build a better system together. The scarcity system isn't natural. It was designed by people who believed competition was the only way. They built a world where personal gain is the ultimate reward, forgetting the power of cooperation. Kindness became a luxury, not a necessity. We inherited their rules. Sell your time, compete for everything, measure worth in money. This system built wealth, but left us poor in spirit and connection. It's time to question the legacy we're living and imagine something better. The scarcity system gives us a powerful metaphor for life, a ladder. From a young age, we're taught to climb higher, chasing success and status. But the ladder is narrow. We compete, not collaborate. The climb is exhausting and isolating. In the end, we're alone, never realizing we could have built something beautiful together on the ground. If the scarcity system is a building, then pride is its foundation stone. The architects of this world built a system that celebrates individual ego and achievement above all else. But this pride isolates us, creating divisions and hierarchies. A society driven by pride cannot foster true unity, because unity requires humility and the willingness to both give and receive help. From our earliest days, we're taught to compete. At school, at work, even in our friendships, we chase gold stars, job offers, and social approval, believing success is scarce. This mindset shapes our lives, fueling quiet tension and endless comparison. But maybe life isn't a race to win, but a journey to walk together. The scarcity system teaches us to wait for permission to help, to see problems as someone else's job. We become specialists in inaction, disconnected from our communities. But imagine if our first instinct was to help, no job title required. Breaking free starts with giving ourselves permission to care and to act. The scarcity mindset tells us to look out for ourselves, turning neighbors into competitors and isolating us in our own homes. When a problem arises, like a fallen tree, we hesitate to help, waiting for someone else or for a paid solution. But true strength is found in community, when we come together, support each other, and share responsibility. The price tag on help leaves us facing life's storms alone. Scarcity poisons our relationships, turning kindness into a transaction. We keep mental ledgers, expecting returns on every favor. Even empathy becomes rationed, managed like a resource. The system teaches us that kindness is only real if it's paid for, devaluing the everyday generosity that truly holds our world together. The scarcity mindset doesn't just harm our communities, it holds back human progress. Progress depends on sharing ideas and building together. But we're taught to guard knowledge, fearing it will diminish our value. Imagine what we could achieve if we shared freely, solving our biggest challenges together. The scarcity system creates a deep, gnawing anxiety inside of us. This anxiety is the fear of not having enough. We worry about losing our jobs, about unexpected medical bills, about not having enough saved for retirement. In response to this fear, the system offers us a solution: accumulate more. It tells us that security can be found in hoarding resources. We are encouraged to build a fortress of wealth around ourselves, to save more money, buy more things, and acquire more assets. The belief is that if we can just pile up enough stuff, we will finally be safe from the uncertainties of life. But this is an illusion. The security offered by hoarding is fragile and ultimately unsatisfying. There is never a point where you feel you have enough. The fear always lingers. The stock market could crash. A new technology could make your skills obsolete. The more you have, the more you have to lose, and the more you worry about protecting it. This endless pursuit of accumulation traps people in jobs they hate and lifestyles that cause them immense stress. They become slaves to the very wealth that was supposed to set them free. The fortress they build to protect themselves becomes their prison. This individualistic approach to security also makes society as a whole less secure. When everyone is focused on hoarding for themselves, the public systems that support everyone are neglected. We see this in crumbling infrastructure, underfunded public schools, and inadequate social safety nets. We have convinced ourselves that we can buy our way out of collective problems. We believe we can have clean water by buying bottled water, good education by paying for private schools, and safety by living in gated communities. We are trying to create little islands of private abundance in a growing sea of public scarcity. The truth is that there can be no real individual security in a deeply insecure society. Your personal wealth cannot protect you from a polluted environment, a collapsing economy, or social unrest. True security does not come from what you can hoard for yourself. It comes from the strength and stability of the community around you. It comes from knowing that there are systems in place to catch you if you fall, and that your neighbors see your well-being as connected to their own. The scarcity system sells us a fantasy of solitary security, while true, lasting safety can only ever be built together. Division is the most devastating consequence of the scarcity system. It splits us into rich and poor, winner and loser, and cracks the foundation of our shared humanity. We focus on our differences, not what unites us. This makes us vulnerable and easy to control. While we fight over scraps, the real problems go unchallenged. Existential threats don't respect our divisions. Only unity can help us face them. The true cost of division is a weaker, more fragile humanity. After seeing the damage caused by scarcity, we have to ask, is there another way? The answer is yes. The abundance mindset. It's a shift in perspective, believing there's enough for everyone if we work together. Abundance means resources like love, creativity, and kindness grow the more we share them. It's about lifting each other up, building community, and creating a better world together. Adopting an abundance mindset is like putting on new glasses. The world itself doesn't change, but your perspective does. Scarcity makes life feel gray and stressful, but abundance reveals color, connection, and opportunity. When you see the good in people and yourself, you're free to give, create, and thrive. The abundance mindset introduces a whole new kind of economics. The old system is based on hoarding. It tells us to accumulate as much as possible for ourselves because resources are scarce. But the new economics is based on flow and sharing. It recognizes that many of our most valuable assets, knowledge, trust, and community spirit, actually increase when they are shared. Hoarding these things makes them stagnate and die, but sharing them creates a positive cycle where everyone becomes richer. This is the economics of kindness, where the act of giving creates more value than the act of keeping. Imagine a world where this principle is applied to our biggest problems. Think about knowledge. In a scarcity system, a life-saving medical formula is patented and sold for a high price, limiting its availability. In a system of abundance, that knowledge would be shared as widely and as quickly as possible, because the goal is to save lives, not to maximize profit. This doesn't mean inventors shouldn't be supported. It means we need to build systems that reward contribution to the common good, rather than rewarding the restriction of access. The internet has already shown us a glimpse of this. with open source software and collaborative projects like Wikipedia changing the world. This new economic model changes our definition of wealth. Hoarding physical possessions begins to look less like success and more like a sign of fear. True wealth in the abundance model is measured by the richness of your relationships and the positive impact you have on your community. A person who has the trust and support of their neighbors is wealthier than a billionaire isolated in a mansion. A person who contributes their skills to a project that benefits everyone is creating a more durable form of value than someone who simply plays the stock market. It is a shift from a material economy to a human economy. This is not just a fantasy. We see this new economics in action all the time. We see it in community tool libraries, where neighbors share equipment instead of each owning a drill they use once a year. We see it in crowdfunding platforms, where people pool small amounts of money to bring a shared dream to life. We see it every time someone volunteers their time to coach a kid's sports team or clean up a local park. These are all examples of the abundance mindset at work, proving that a system based on sharing and trust is not only possible, but is already being built from the ground up by ordinary people. For too long, we have allowed the scarcity system to define success for us in the narrowest possible terms. Success has been a number in a bank account, a title on a business card, or the accumulation of material possessions. This definition has driven us to sacrifice our health, our relationships, and our peace of mind in the pursuit of a prize that often leaves us feeling empty. The abundance mindset calls for a revolution in how we define a successful life. It asks us to shift our focus from the size of our wallets to the depth of our well-being and the well-being of those around us. In a world guided by abundance, a successful person is someone who cultivates strong, loving relationships. They are someone who has time for their friends and family, time to play, and time to rest. Success is measured by the quality of your human connections, not the quantity of your assets. It is about feeling a part of a community, knowing you can rely on others, and that others can rely on you. This form of wealth is far more resilient and satisfying than financial wealth alone. It provides a sense of belonging and security that no amount of money can ever buy. A successful life in this new paradigm is also a life of purpose. It is about using your unique talents and passions to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. This is not limited to your paid job. Your purpose might be found in raising compassionate children, in creating art that inspires others, in tending to a garden that feeds your neighbors, or in advocating for a cause you believe in. Success is the feeling that your life matters, that you have made a positive difference, no matter how small it may seem. It is about contribution, not just consumption. This redefinition of success is the key to toppling the old system. When we stop chasing the hollow prizes offered by scarcity, the system loses its power over us. When we no longer equate our self-worth with our net worth, we are free to make different choices. We can choose jobs that are more fulfilling, even if they pay less. We can choose to spend our time and energy building our communities instead of just building our resumes. We can start to build a society that celebrates empathy as much as it celebrates entrepreneurship, and that values a strong social fabric as its greatest asset. It can feel overwhelming to think about changing an entire system, but every act of generosity, no matter how small, creates a ripple. You are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the start of a new current. When you choose abundance, you inspire others, and together, we create real change. To build a new world, we must unlearn the old, especially the belief that our worth is tied to productivity or competition. Letting go of these ideas is liberating. Celebrate others, give freely, and remember, our value is inherent, not earned. Shifting from a scarcity to an abundance mindset is practical. Like an athlete training, we build new habits, practicing gratitude, curating positive information, and choosing generosity in small ways. Mindfulness helps us notice scarcity thoughts and choose abundance instead. Each small act rewires our brain, proving that abundance is possible and already here. While individual mindset shifts are the foundation, they are not enough on their own. We must also begin the work of building new systems that are designed to foster unity and shared well-being. We inherited a social blueprint based on competition and pride. Now, we must draw up new blueprints based on cooperation and empathy. This means rethinking how we structure our businesses, our schools, and our local governments. We need to ask a new question of every system we create. Does this structure bring people together and encourage mutual support, or does it drive them apart and encourage selfishness? In the world of business, this means moving beyond the single-minded pursuit of profit. New models like cooperatives, B corporations, and social enterprises are already showing the way. These are businesses that are legally bound to consider their impact on their workers, their community, and the environment, not just their shareholders. They are designed to create shared value. We can support these businesses with our money and our talent. We can also advocate for policies that encourage all companies to adopt more humane practices, such as paying living wages, offering profit sharing, and fostering collaborative, not competitive, workplace cultures. In education, we need to redesign our schools to be laboratories for cooperation. This means shifting the focus from individual rankings and high-stakes testing to project-based learning, where students work together to solve real-world problems. We need to teach empathy, conflict resolution, and civic engagement as core subjects, just as important as math and literature. Our schools should be places where children learn the fundamental lesson of abundance, that we are all smarter and more capable together than we are apart. They should graduate with a deep understanding that their success is intrinsically linked to the success of their peers. At the community level, we can design systems that make it easy for people to connect and support each other. This can be as simple as creating more public spaces, like parks, libraries, and community centers where people can gather without having to spend money. It can involve establishing formal platforms for sharing, like tool libraries, community gardens, or time banks, where neighbors exchange services. These structures are the physical architecture of an abundant society. They are the new blueprints that create a world where cooperation is the default, and where unity is not just a vague ideal, but a daily lived reality for everyone. Real change doesn't start in government halls. It begins right here, in our neighborhoods. By connecting with our neighbors, organizing local events, and supporting small businesses, we build trust and resilience. Together, we can create a stronger, more caring community. One that empowers us all to make a difference, right where we stand. The scarcity system is held in place by a story of separation and competition. But the real story of humanity is one of cooperation, mutual aid, and community. Our greatest strength is unity. We can choose a new narrative, one of abundance, built together. This is the narrative of us. Our world stands at a breaking point. The system of scarcity, once promising progress, now delivers anxiety, division, and crisis. We see it in climate disasters, inequality, and the stress that fills our lives. The cracks are no longer subtle. They are gaping chasms. This moment demands action. We must choose abundance, courage, and collective transformation before it's too late. It's easy to feel powerless in a world built on scarcity, but every day, our choices, big or small, shape the world we live in. When we choose to collaborate, celebrate, and help each other, we dismantle the old system and create ripples of change. Together, our collective actions become a powerful force for abundance. Will you play your part? So, what kind of world are we trying to build? A world where we face our problems together, with intelligence and compassion. A world where every human being has the chance to live a life of dignity and purpose. Imagine a future where our economies serve life, not the other way around. Where businesses measure success by their positive impact on communities and the living world. This is the promise of abundance. It is a future that is not only possible, but is calling to us. The scarcity mindset is a poison we've all ingested, but the cure is within our reach. Generosity, collaboration, unity, and trust. Every act of kindness, every moment of true connection is a dose of this powerful antidote. By discarding the poison and embracing the cure, we heal our world and make it whole again. This essay is not a condemnation. It is an invitation. It's a call to every single person who reads these words, regardless of your background, your profession, or your current circumstances. It's an invitation to become an architect of the future. The world of abundance will not be built for us by some distant, benevolent authority. It must be built by us together. You are hereby invited to pick up the tools of compassion, collaboration, and creativity, and to join in the most important construction project in human history. This isn't a project for the experts alone. It requires the skills, the passion, and the wisdom of everyone. This is your invitation to start where you are. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need a grand plan. Begin in your own heart by cultivating a mindset of gratitude and generosity. Begin in your own home by fostering relationships of unconditional love and support. Begin on your own street by getting to know your neighbors and finding small ways to weave your community together. Begin in your own workplace. By choosing to mentor a colleague or share credit for a success. Your unique sphere of influence is the perfect place to start laying the foundation for a new world. This is also an invitation to find each other. The work of building is too vast and too important to be done alone. Seek out others who share this vision. Form groups, start conversations, and launch projects together. Create pockets of abundance that can grow and connect with other pockets of abundance. In this great work, we are each other's greatest resource. The synergy that arises when people unite for a positive purpose is the most powerful force on the planet. Together, we can generate the momentum needed to shift our culture from the default of scarcity to a new default of shared well-being. Accepting this invitation requires a single, simple decision. The decision to believe that a better world is possible, and that you have a vital role to play in creating it. It's a decision to turn away from cynicism and apathy, and to embrace a radical hope. It's a commitment to be part of the solution, in ways both small and large. The blueprints for a more humane world are not yet finished. There are countless lines to be drawn, and your unique perspective is needed. This is the great invitation of our time. Will you accept it? Will you join us in the beautiful, challenging, and necessary work of building a world where everyone can thrive? A dropped bowl in a busy restaurant. A simple moment, yet a powerful symbol. It shows how our world can fracture when we turn away from each other. But every broken piece is a chance to choose unity, to help, and to heal. Let's pick up the pieces together and begin to heal our world.